Hi, my name is Christina Lee, and for my Teach 1 assignment for my class HAP 725, taught by Professor Alemi at George Mason University, I will be answering questions 2 and 4 on probability and distribution. Question 2 asks us to calculate the average rate across all hospitals for the 2 most recent years using the data provided, as well as a standard deviation. In getting the files for the 2 most recent years, I downloaded the 1-zip file under 2019 and all 4 files under 2018, as shown in this slide. I then exported all 5 CSV versions of the file titled Complications and Deaths Hospital to get all the data that was required to answer this question. In combining all the data into one spreadsheet, I clicked on the Data button at the top of the Excel screen and clicked on the Filter button. Once I clicked on the Filter button, all the headers had drop-down arrows next to them, and from here, I filtered for only the hospitals with a measure name of rate of complications for hip or knee replacement patients. After filtering for only those cases, I copied and pasted each grouping of dates into their designated sheets labeled with each date and merged all the files under one sheet titled All to encompass all the data from the 5 files. As you can see in the screen, I have data from 2013 and 2014. I then inserted a new column titled Rate in order to calculate the rate of complication for each hospital. In the cell, I typed in an equal sign, open parentheses, the first value underscore, and divided that value by the first value under the denominator, and close the parentheses and hit enter. After calculating the rate for the first values, I clicked on the corner of the calculated rate in order to copy the formula for the entire column to get the rate for all the hospitals. Here you can see that some of the rates have a funky value, meaning that these hospitals did not have any score or denominator available. Thus, I wanted to get rid of these hospitals that had no value. In order to delete all the empty values, I filtered for the rates that contain all the funky values and deleted all of them. Now, in order to calculate the average rate, I used the function subtotal in Excel to do this. The reason I chose to use this function is that subtotal excludes values in rows hidden by a filter. I'll show you what that value of this is in a moment. But in using this function, I created a new sheet row and typed in equals subtotal, open parentheses, the number 1 for average, comma, and then select the entire row of rate, and then close the parentheses and hit enter. The average value I got was 0.0236 as shown in this slide. I use the same formula for standard deviation, but rather than typing in 1, I typed in the number 7. Here on the slide, you can see that the standard deviation I got was 0.0251. I'm going to show you what the reason was for doing the subtotal function in Excel. So when I pull up my Excel sheet here, we can see the average is here and the standard deviation is here. Now, let's say I wanted to filter the states and only wanted to filter off of this state right here. If I click OK, you'll notice that the average and the standard deviation values change according to what was filtered. Again, if I click all of them again, that average and standard deviation change right back to the value that I got in the first place. Now, in answering question 4, we were to plot the relationship between the rate of complications for hip and knee or knee replacements and pressure scores by using a scatter plot in Excel. So I've actually already created my scatter plot, but what I did was I copied the rate and the score from this first sheet here into this new sheet. And what I did was I selected these two rows all the way down, and in this button up here where it says scatter, I chose this first scatter plot. And what you get is the scatter plot that's shown right here. I labeled my axes by clicking on this plus sign, click on axis titles, and then entering in the x-axis as the rate of complications, the y-axis as pressure scores. And as you can see in this scatter plot, there is a positive correlation between the rate of complication and pressure scores. So if you were to draw a trend line, you can see that this is actually going up. And that is what this scatter plot is showing, the relationship between the rate of complications and the pressure scores. So that concludes my presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you.